root rot, the one reason your plants keep dying. If you've ever watched a houseplant slowly decline for no obvious reason, leaves turning yellow, the whole plant looking weaker by the day, despite watering it regularly, there's a very good chance the real problem was happening somewhere you couldn't see at all, underneath the soil, in the roots. And by the time the damage becomes visible above the soil line, the plant is often already in serious trouble. This condition is called root rot, and it is, without question, the single most common cause of houseplant death worldwide. Not pests, not lack of sunlight, not even neglect. Root rot, in the vast majority of cases, is caused by something well-meaning plant owners do with the best intentions, watering too much, too often, without realizing what's actually happening beneath the surface. The frustrating part is that most people don't even realize root rot is the culprit until it's far too late to save the plant. The symptoms get misread constantly, mistaken for underwatering, pests, or simply a plant that wasn't meant to survive indoors. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what root rot is, why it happens, how to spot it early before it kills your plant, and exactly how to fix it if it's already taken hold. Let's start with understanding what root rot actually is. A healthy root system needs both water and oxygen to function properly. Roots absorb water from the soil, but they also need small pockets of air within that soil to breathe and carry out essential processes. When soil stays constantly wet, saturated for extended periods without ever fully drying out, those air pockets disappear entirely. The roots essentially begin to suffocate, and in that oxygen-deprived, consistently damp environment, harmful fungi and bacteria that thrive in wet conditions multiply rapidly, attacking and breaking down the root tissue. Once this fungal and bacterial activity sets in, the roots turn brown or black, become soft and mushy, and lose their ability to properly absorb water and nutrients from the soil. This is the cruel irony of root rot. The plant is technically standing in plenty of water, yet it slowly starves and dehydrates anyway, because its damaged roots simply can't do their job anymore. Now let's talk about the actual causes, because understanding these is the key to prevention. The first and most common cause is simply overwatering, watering on a fixed schedule, regardless of whether the plant actually needs it. Many people water every few days out of habit or anxiety, without ever checking whether the soil beneath the surface is still wet from the last watering. This constant moisture never gives the roots a chance to access oxygen, setting the stage for rot almost immediately. The second cause is poor drainage, which can turn even moderate watering into a serious problem. If a pot doesn't have a drainage hole, or if the soil itself is too dense and compact, excess water has nowhere to go. It simply pools at the bottom of the pot or saturates the entire root ball, creating exactly the kind of stagnant, oxygen-starved environment that root rot thrives in. The third cause is using the wrong soil type for a specific plant. Succulents and other drought-tolerant plants need fast-draining, gritty soil, while regular potting mix retains far more moisture than these plants can tolerate. Planting a succulent in dense, water-retentive soil is almost guaranteed to cause root rot over time, even with relatively careful watering habits. The fourth cause is a pot that's simply too large for the plant. When a pot has significantly more soil volume than the plant's root system actually needs, that extra soil hockey happening at the root level. The third sign is soft, mushy stems near the base of the plant, particularly where the stem meets the soil line, which indicates the rot has progressed beyond just the roots and started affecting the plant's main structure. The fourth sign, and the most definitive one, is actually removing the plant from its pot and inspecting the roots directly. Healthy roots are typically white or light tan and feel firm to the touch. Rotted roots appear brown or black, feel mushy or slimy, and may even fall apart or come loose when gently tugged. Now let's get into exactly how to fix root rot if you've caught it, because in many cases, especially if caught early, the plant can still be saved. The first step is to remove the plant from its pot, entirely and gently brush away as much of the old, wet soil from the roots as possible, exposing the full root system so you can properly assess the damage. The second step is trimming away all the damaged roots using clean, sterilized scissors or pruning shears. Any root that's brown, black, mushy, or slimy needs to be cut away completely, leaving only the firm, healthy, white or light colored roots intact. It's important to sterilize your tools between cuts if the rot is severe, to avoid spreading the fungal or bacterial infection to healthy tissue. The third step is treating the remaining healthy roots with a fungicide, which can help kill off any remaining fungal spores before you repot the plant, significantly reducing the chance of the rot returning. The fourth step is repotting the plant into completely fresh, well-draining soil in a clean pot that has proper drainage holes at the bottom. Never reuse the old, contaminated soil, since it likely still contains the fungal or bacterial pathogens responsible for the rot in the first place. The fifth and final step is significantly adjusting your watering habits going forward. After root damage, a plant has a much smaller, weaker root system than before, meaning it needs even less water than it did previously while it recovers and regrows healthy roots. Water sparingly, and always check that the soil has dried out sufficiently before watering again. Now let's talk about prevention, because avoiding root rot in the first place is far easier than trying to fix it after the fact. Always check the soil moisture before watering rather than sticking to a fixed schedule. Insert your finger a couple of inches into the soil and only water when it actually feels dry at that depth, rather than watering simply because a certain number of days have passed since the last watering. Always use pots with drainage holes, no exceptions. If you love a particular decorative pot that doesn't have drainage, use it as an outer decorative sleeve, and keep the plant in a properly draining nursery pot inside it instead. Match your soil to your specific plant's needs. Succulents and cacti need fast draining, gritty soil mixes, while tropical foliage plants generally do better with a slightly more moisture retentive but still well aerated mix. Using the wrong soil type is one of the most overlooked causes of root rot. Choose an appropriately sized pot for your plant, generally only 1 to 2 inches larger in diameter than the plant's current root ball, rather than jumping to a dramatically larger pot that will hold excess moisture for far longer than necessary. So, what does all of this actually mean for the plants sitting in your home right now? If you've had a plant slowly decline, despite what feels like attentive care, root rot is genuinely one of the first things worth investigating, particularly if you've been watering on a fixed schedule rather than checking the actual soil moisture first. The good news is that root rot, when caught early, is very often fixable, and even severely affected plants can sometimes be saved by aggressively trimming away the damaged roots and starting fresh in new soil. The single most important habit that prevents root rot entirely is simple. Stop watering on a schedule and start watering based on what the soil is actually telling you. That one shift in mindset prevents the vast majority of root rot cases before they ever have a chance to start. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe, because next week we're covering the exact watering guide for different plant types, so you'll know precisely how often each kind of plant actually needs water instead of guessing. See you in the next one. Tittle 2, the ultimate houseplant watering guide. Stop overwatering. If you ask almost any group of new plant owners what killed their last plant, the honest answer, whether they realize it or not, is almost always the same thing: watering. Not neglect, not bad luck, not just not having a green thumb. Watering, specifically getting